Hope you all doing well today. Getting a little bit of a later start than normal. It's 4:30 in the morning here in Warner Robins, Georgia. Today, trying to bring this up. Make sure my pen works. There we go. Anyway, here is the water vapor loop for this morning. You can see the precip that and system is off the coast here now. Most of the heavy rainfall associated with what moved through to the northeast yesterday is now offshore, with cooler air poised to move into the northeast. Makes me wish I lived up there right now. It's going to cool off quite a bit next couple of days. Deep moisture all the way up. This is going to be hanging around the southeast for quite a few days here. We also have what looks like kind of a broad bunch of different upper level features all over the northwest into the high plains, upper Midwest, northern plains down into Mexico. If you look at the upper level water vapor flow, it shows basically the same thing, really, but just at different levels here. Look at low level water vapor, you can see the drier air right off the coast of California. This is really an interesting pattern here, given all the different storms that are going on the mountains here. That's a lot. Anyway, this gives you a really good idea of the low level moisture, especially the real dry air and the yellows here that are moving into the east today. Unfortunately, the southeast is going to be inundated with clouds and rain for probably at least a week, if not longer. That being said, today's threats. I can find it. There we go. A flash flood watch says here remains in effect for the northeast and mid-Atlantic. Heavy downpours from slow moving storms could lead to significant urban and small stream flooding. There's a marginal risk for severe weather along in the southeast today and central high plains with isolated damaged wind and large hail. Large hail is more likely out on the central high plains. And oppressive heat and humidity continues today for the southeast. It feels like temperature hazardous heat outlook the coming days. This directly reflects the temperatures, the heat, how it feels out there to you when you go outside. The areas in green here, little to no risk expected. So today for the southeast, we still have a little bit of a risk here in desert southwest. Tomorrow, it's just further southward, almost exclusively in the Florida, parts of Texas, Arizona, maybe up into the touching the northern tier up here, but that's minimal stuff going on. It's going to be hot up here in the north, get hotter up here in the northeast, but I don't think the temperatures, it's not going to be like it would be in the southeast, but they may not be used to those temperatures as much as we would be. And the heat starts building, as you can see, into the Midwest, desert Southwest, and again in the Southeast. But the general trend is here cooling off quite a bit. As far as the forecast goes, lows for Warner Robins. We have high 96 today, 40% chance of shower and thunderstorms this afternoon. The low of 74 tonight, and going into Saturday, showers and thunderstorms with 90% chance in the afternoon, 50% chance in the morning, up to 90%, high of 88. You can see it's cooling off. And the winds out of northeast, west, northeast, when it starts coming out of northeast or east, it usually signifies CAD, wedge, or cold air damming setup, and cooler, not necessarily drier, but cooler weather because of the flow off the Atlantic. Shower and thunderstorms overnight on Saturday night, low of 71. Again, 80% chance of shower and thunderstorms on Sunday, high of 80. Shower and thunderstorms Sunday night, a low of 69. It's like a Groundhog Day here. On Monday, chance of shower and thunderstorms, high of 81. And then Monday night, shower and thunderstorms likely. You go from 50 to 70%, 70 to 60, low of 69. Warming up a little bit on Tuesday, shower and thunderstorms, 50 to 80%, and then back to 50% on Tuesday night, a low of 69. And on Wednesday, high of 87, chance shower and thunderstorms, 60% chance. 40 to 60, 60 to 40, high of 87, low of 70. And on Thursday, a little bit less chance of a shower and thunderstorm, but still 50% chance as of right now. So the general theme is it's going to be raining quite a bit for the good part of the area in the coming days. Next, I'm going to go over the system rainfall outlook as it stands right now for the mid-Atlantic. I'm going to turn down opacity on this. Marginal risk for a large portion of the United States for up till 12Z today. Okay, yeah. And so marginal risk spanning all the way from the northern high plains into along the front range of the Rockies, along the deep south, southeast, up into the northeast. It's the same. Slight risk shifts into North Carolina, South Carolina, and northeast Texas. Marginal risk going all the way up into the high plains and the rest of the southeast, deep south, most of Texas, along the front range of the Rockies again. The slight risk for excessive rainfall shifts further south over time here. But the general theme is, like I said in the forecast, lots of rain. And then marginal risk in the high plains, upper Midwest, central plains, still on the front range of the Rockies here. For day 4, which is Sunday through Tuesday, small marginal risk in the southeast and along the Gulf Coast, upper Midwest. That upper Midwest marginal risk just a little further east. This is Tuesday through Wednesday. And then a marginal risk still in the southeast. And what these risks define, as I've talked about before, is risk of rainfall exceeding flash flood guidance within 25 miles of a point. Whatever that flash flood guidance is, if that rainfall exceeds that, that's the risk that's depicted here. go back and show the amount of precip that's expected today. Let's do multi-day. Day 1 through 2. You can see where the most precip is expected along the northeast coast, Atlantic coast, and the northeast, and all along in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, in the hill country, on the Appalachians into Texas. Day 1 through 3. Quite a bit more. This same area is going to get rain on the southeast. You can see these areas getting deeper reds and oranges. That's just depicting more rainfall over that period. Day 1 through 5 is next. We're expecting, according to this, the expectation is we could have up to 4, possibly 5 inches of rain um, 5 days from now, which over 5 days isn't necessarily a lot, but the cumulative number, if we do get training of storms, or certain areas could experience urban flash flooding, things like that. And days 1 through 7, the highest precip forecast precip amounts remains offshore, but you can see there are some bullseyes up here in the South Dakota, and you can kind of get the general idea of where most of the precip is. Of course, down in Mexico along the mountains here. Florida is going to get some, but the main idea here is the most of the rainfall is going to be in the southeast in the coming days, as it was reflected in the forecast. So if we look at I'm going to look at current hazards next, just to go over that real quick. As far as severe weather goes, today's outlook, a slight risk around the front range of the Rockies for severe weather, and in the southeast today, like we talked about. Likely, mostly wind risk here in the southeast from water loaded downdrafts. Excuse me. These areas are likely going to be where we're going to have more of a hail threat. And now there's a 2% tornado risk along the hill country up here and along the front range of the Rockies. That wasn't there yesterday. Wind risk, slight risk, 15% risk off the front range of the Rockies, the hill country out here. Montana, Wyoming, points south into New Mexico in the southeast. Hail. Yeah, the hail risk in the southeast is pretty much severe hail is probably not going to happen given amount of moisture in the atmosphere and lapse rates being poor. So this hail risk just a little further south and on the front range of the Rockies tomorrow, a slight risk with a 5% risk surrounding it. And the tornado risk fished a little further south too, with a 2% tornado risk. Wind risk, same thing along the front range of the Rockies here. And the wind risk shifts a little further south in the southern Georgia and parts of Alabama. Day 3, categorical. Marginal risk along the front range of the Rockies with general thunderstorms everywhere else. And you can see the general thunderstorm risk is relegated to the southern tier of the United States, going up in the upper Midwest and along the parts of the West Coast here for most of the period. Northeast and mid Mississippi Valley and along the Great Lakes in Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, parts of Minnesota. They're having air quality issues, but other than that, going to be rain free for a few days. When we go back to look at excessive rainfall, I want to look at the go today. We have still have a heat advisory for the southeast and parts of the deep south into Florida. Uh, looks like an extreme heat warning, an extreme heat watch for the desert southwest, with a red flag warning up into Idaho. Excuse me, and a flood watch way up in flash flood watch way up in Washington. So as far as hazardous weather goes, there's not a lot um, going on right now. Is the heat is slowly being pushed to the south, and of course in the desert southwest, it's going to be hot again. Lastly, I'm going to go over the tropics real quick just to give an overall overview of what's going on there, and that'll be it for today. Atlantic Basin remains relatively quiet today. You can see here we still have Gill, Iona, and this system here. It's not likely to develop, and we have another system that may develop off the Pacific coast, the coast of Mexico. 80% chance in 7 days. Iona's a 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm. Gill, likely to become a hurricane until it moves into cooler waters and will likely weaken over time. Iona, going to move out to the northeast, become a tropical depression, northwest, become a tropical depression eventually. Moves into cooler water. As far as tropics go, here's I like to show this as far as the forecast goes. The models, European models and the AA models combined, they want to develop multiple low pressures off the east coast of the U.S. And it's wanting to do something here, maybe in the Gulf of Mexico, and then move it off over to the Eastern Pacific. But overall, these models aren't too bullish on anything really getting going for the Atlantic Basin in the long term. If we look at, let's just look at the European ensembles and what they think going out through middle of August. Let's start today. This is likely a non-tropical area low pressure. You see all these numbers here denote the model agreement on where something might form. And the pressure, the last two digits of the pressure, are quite weak. Tropical system. Not likely to be tropical, really, given how it appears. And multiple low pressure systems developing along this stationary front, which always lends a possibility of, and that was depicted well within this weather lab cyclone model. These low pressures out here where all these numbers are, but none of them get very concentrated, really. Even out in the main development region, you can see here off the Pacific coast here, in the eastern Pacific, how tightly clustered these numbers are, how the intense colors there denotes better confidence that a stronger low pressure will develop. Of course, as we go through time, the spread and uncertainty gets even more so, with some model members wanting to bring something to the Caribbean later in the period. But given going out 2 weeks is really not valuable as far as forecasting, anything specific and just general trends. So I wouldn't. There's really not a lot that I'm concerned about right now with the tropics, but I'll keep you updated. Hope you have a great day.